What's up, guys? It is February, and that means good movies can finally start coming out this year. So yesterday I got to check out the Lego Batman movie, which is a spin-off of the Lego movie which came out 3 years ago. That's right. It's already been 3 years since that movie. It's crazy. And this movie, Batman is just doing Batman things. He wants to show how awesome he is. And the Joker is getting really irritated that Batman isn't acknowledging him as his greatest enemy. So the Joker devises this plan to basically make Batman respect him and finally make him acknowledge him, which is, on paper, that's hilarious. That's a hilarious concept because we all know Joker's the greatest Batman villain, but he doesn't want to admit anything in this movie. So, as it starts out, I loved the Lego movie 3 years ago. I thought it was extremely creative and very funny, and it also had some good heart to it too. So when I found out they were making a Lego Batman spinoff, I was like, that is great, because the Lego movie was good, and then when Batman came into it, like midway through, it became awesome. So I was like really excited that they were making this movie. Starting off as usual with the pros, what I like about this movie, it has great animation. Just like that Lego stop motion looking animation that was in the Lego movie, it comes back here, and I'm pretty sure it's all done on computers, but it looks like stop motion animation, and that makes like the fire is made of Legos, the water, everything. When it comes all together, it looks great. The second thing I loved about this movie is it's just plain hilarious. There is a lot of great comedic timing in this movie. Batman, voiced by Will Arnett, is hilarious, just like he crashed Lego movie with that whole darkness, no parents thing. This is just such an interesting take on the character. He's extremely narcissistic. He's completely full of himself. He's like, imagine kind of the Batman that you see in the How It Should Have Ended animated shorts. Imagine that version of Batman and crank up his narcissism like times 100, and you have the Lego Batman. It is just so funny how he interacts with Alfred and everyone else. It's just so funny. This movie has great comedic timing. I was laughing, especially through the first act. Oh my goodness. The first 30 minutes to an hour of this movie just blew me away. It's so fast paced, and it just has joke after joke that it's kind of hard to keep up, but you just find yourself bawling throughout, even from the opening credits. It was just, I haven't laughed so hard at an opening credit sequence since Deadpool last February, last Valentine's Day weekend. I really liked how fast-paced the humor was. And the third thing I loved about this movie is what makes the humor work. What makes the humor work in this movie is that they tie from the lore they've established in the Batman universe, in the Lego movie universe. For instance, there's several references to a master builders, and you're like, oh yeah, Batman was a great builder, so you see some of that happen. And Batman's universe is explored so well in this movie. This movie is a complete celebration for Batman fans. There are so many visual and humorous Easter eggs within almost every line of dialogue. I felt myself just laughing, like I said, in that first 30 minutes to an hour of this movie. I was just laughing every second. It was just such a joy to watch. This movie is pure joy for comic book and especially Batman fans. So yeah, that's the first 30 minutes. I love the animation, the humor, Batman, the Batman lore, the Lego movie lore. I loved all of it. It came together so well. What I didn't like as much about this movie is that its humor, it might not, well, I love this because I'm a comic book fan, I'm a Batman fan, but its humor can be so on the nose, it can be hard to catch at times. For instance, there's this one scene where, this isn't a spoiler, but Batman and Robin are surrounded by thugs, and Batman looks at Robin, he's like, okay, Robin, we're gonna punch these guys so hard, words will spontaneously materialize in thin air. And then they go on punching, and they go splat, bop, kapow, and stuff like that. And I was just dying. I was like, this is so funny. But the kids in front of me, they were like, Mom, I don't know what that means. They didn't get it. I was laughing because I know I've watched my fair share of the 1960s Batman, and there was so much homage There was so much homage to the 1960s Batman. I loved every second of it. They bring back several villains from the 1960s and more obscure comics, and it was just such a joy to see. Not everyone will get the humor of this movie, I understand that. But the thing that I personally didn't like as much about this movie is its heart kind of falls short. Its heart is not as, while there is amidst all the rapping, Batman loves to rap a lot in this movie, by the way. But amidst all the rapping and bravado, there's a huge message about sticking together and family that we've seen over and over, and it didn't resonate with me. It didn't hit me where I live like the message of the Lego movie did. The Lego movie had better balance. It was funny, but when it tried to be serious and when it finally got to its final message, it flowed much more nicely than this movie. This movie, they kind of take a break from the humor and then go to the family stuff, and you're like, okay, this is the part of the movie we gotta sit through the family stuff, and it just didn't sit as well. It wasn't as well, it wasn't seamlessly tied into the movie like the Lego movie did. So its heart kind of fell short for me. Another thing is its third act is pretty generic, and it's not nearly as funny as the first two acts. You know, this movie is so fast-paced, it's like a pop balloon if it just, like, whizzed by the sky, like, going back and forth without stopping. It's a huge burst of energy, it's quite a ride, but by the time you get to the last 30-ish minutes of the movie, you can tell the movie's it wore itself out, really. It had so much good humor and so many references and everything going for it. But by the time the final battle and stuff like that comes, they kind of have to just rely on the generic jokes, the generic situations we've seen in third acts of action movies we've seen over and over. So its third act kind of fell short because, like I said, the movie wore itself out. It was so energetic and nonstop in the beginning, and it didn't know where as much it wanted to go within the last 3 minutes. But those are two minor gripes, I guess. Those are things I wouldn't necessarily just judge the movie for if I just casually sat down to watch this with my friends, which you're probably going to do. Take Batman fans, take comic book fans. You guys will have a phenomenally good time with this movie. I'm going to give the Lego Batman movie 4 stars. I'm extremely happy with it, and I was just really glad as a comic book fan to see this movie. Alright guys, that's my take on the Lego Batman movie. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching, and I'm out for now.